How to reset and organize your life in 2026. Hi guys, this is Diane of Minimize to Maximize, where we minimize the clutter in our life and we maximize its enjoyment and fulfillment. And this is the beginning of the new year of 2026. And it's a perfect time to reflect and to reshape, redesign, upgrade your vision for yourself, your vision for what you want to experience and who you want to be in 2026. So let me walk you through a life coaching tool that I have been using since 2012 when I became a certified life coach. And it's a life assessment tool. But let me walk you through 5 steps. And number 1 would simply be for you to take the time to pause and reflect by yourself with a pen and paper. So that's what I did during the holidays. I had a couple days off, and I got to really think about what went well in 2025. That's something to start with that is really helpful, and not just launch straight into all the new things that you're planning on doing and who you're planning on being, but just have a little bit of true and honest time and reflection and differentiating what really mattered and what was a little bit of fluff, which happens in human life. So write it down, randomly, what went well, what was really important to you, and also the things that you were not very happy about or wish were different. And so this kind of brain dump is what I would call the first step. It's more of a brain dump. Pause, reflect, brain dump, write it down. Step 2 is really to consider what's most important to you in your life. And when I ask this question, people, they say, well, my family, or like my children, my husband, my dog, rarely do they say that it's actually money or their career. It could be, but usually it's relationships. Relationships with family, with friends, maybe with themselves, maybe with God, a higher power. It tends to be that. And I know that is very important to me. But there are so many things that are important to people. Money, career, businesses, health, vitality, spirituality, contribution, learning, growth, fun, adventure, whatever it is for you, write those things down. What's most important to me in my life? And when it comes to maybe some dreams and achievements, things you want to accomplish, things you've been dreaming about for a long time, write those things down. And those most important things to you are probably the ones that will really matter when you come to the end of your life. So I would like you to consider having a deathbed mentality. You're on your deathbed, long time from now, hopefully, and you reflect on your life, kind of a little bit like you're doing right now. What had really mattered? What was really important for you to have invested in? What are you pleased about? What do you regret? Imagine you're this very old person who's about to leave the earth, and that's it. That's you. You don't have a chance to do over. It's over. So think about those most important things in life, more so that what is right in front of you right now, which might be a little bit short term. So try to expand that view, and it will bring to the surface the priorities for you. And maybe the other things come at the bottom of the list. So it's okay to prioritize those things. So for me, the most important things in life would be my relationship with my son, my relationship with my husband, my relationship with my extended family, my relationship with my friends. Those, I have like already 4 categories that are related to relationship. Other things that are very important: my health, my vitality. Fun is another category for me. Spirituality is also another category. Contribution is another one for me. Career is another one. And for you, if you have career and it's also a source of growth and stimulation and relationships, it might be a very important one for you. You may also have several businesses. And of course, money is always something that's on people's mind, or maybe not just money, but also the feeling of having enough, the feeling of abundance, the feeling of being wealthy. And that's not necessarily what you see on social media or in fancy magazines with all the millionaire, billionaire homes and all that. So think a little bit more closer to what's important to you in your heart of heart, not just in your head. So that was 2. Consider the most important things in your life in terms of accomplishment, enjoyment, relationships, things of this nature. Jot it down. Number 3 is to do the life assessment for each of these categories and to give it a score from 1 to 10. 1 being the lowest on how satisfied am I in that category, and 10 being the highest, like top notch. I'm rocking with this. And so I'm going to show you how I do it. Take a piece of paper. Take a piece of paper. Let's say right here. Let's do a blank one right here. And you're going to draw a line. And you're going to have number 1 and number 10. And let's say this category is relationship with my son, or relationship with one of your children. If you have 10 children, you may have to, or you may choose to do that for each of your children, because each of your children are unique and your relationship might be different with one than with another, and it requires a different approach. So relationship with son. And you're going to give it a number. Okay, relationship with my son is a 7.5. So I'm going to put this 7.5 is more or less over there. And so this means that this first section I'm very happy about. There are a lot of things I'm doing great here, but that I'm pleased about with this relationship. So I'm going to write it down. You may want to jot down, hey, I'm very happy my son gets to trust me or talks to me at night, that we get to cuddle, that we read in bed together, that we play board games, or that whatever it is that's important to you. Write it down right here. Acknowledge the good. And then you have what you could potentially see as a negative. But this negative, you're going to turn it into an arrow. And this arrow is action steps. I want you to think about things that you could do better. And maybe in this, because it's a relationship, it's really 2 people who are involved. So you may want to have a conversation with that person. That's what I did with my son. So I asked him, honey, what rating do you give to our relationship? I think he gave it an 8. So what's good about it? And he mentioned, well, a parent. It's good to have a parent. Okay, yeah, it is good to have a parent. Not everybody has a parent. What's good about it? And he mentioned somebody who cares, somebody to talk to, somebody who cooks, things like that. So this was in the plus section. And of course, I have my own plus section too. And in the negative, or things that he would like to see different, I asked her, honey, what do you think about what would make it a 10? What would bridge that gap to make it, this relationship, a 10 level of satisfaction? And he mentioned things like screen time. And that's the first, the first thing that come up are usually the things that are closer to to our attention and our focus. So had a lot of discussion and limitations around screen time. So he wants to have more screen time. How to implement is not the time for this. This is about the reset and what's important in the relationship, and it's more like the goals of the new year. So he talked about that. He mentioned playing my games. Okay, what games do you want to play more of? Say playing soccer and hide and seek and origami and things like that. So I got some specific action steps. And he also mentioned cooking and baking brownies together. So, okay, we can do more of that. So these are the little action steps that become more clear as you bridge the gap to get closer to the 10. And so with this, you're going to do the exact same thing for other categories of your life that might be important to you, like maybe health. You know, what is it you're already doing great with health? And maybe you're at a 5.5, you know, and especially after the holidays, you might want to acknowledge what you're already doing great and what would help bridge that gap, and have several specific action-oriented ideas that are realistic, and that might need to be baby steps, but you have this is how you start to create your goals and have some action steps. And you keep on going like this, category by category. So where am I at now? So you've done your life assessment, which was step 3. Now you have your specific action steps. That's part of the life assessment, but that's number 4. And now number 5, which is really the part to talk about that does not require action, is reflecting also and having goals for ways of being, the beingness of life. We are not just human doing, we are human beings. And in our world and our society where action is very valued, accomplishments and achievements are really valued, when you come to the end of your life, it might be a little bit less important and relevant. When you talk to the elderly, they wish they had had more fun and had enjoyed life more and had worried less and had invested more time and energy into sustaining and growing relationships instead of letting them slide and decay into oblivion in some cases. So think about being. Who do I want to be? Who do I want to be more of? And worrying less is usually one of those things. So think about little practices to maybe use the deathbed mentality and really like distance yourself from a little issue that's causing some stress. In 5 years from now, would it really matter? You know, when I'm 80 years old or 90 years old, will this really matter? And in that different perspective, it's easier to refocus and maybe let some things go and maybe let other things take the center stage of life. And so feelings, emotions, thoughts, all of those are to be managed so that our perception of life is also healthy and positive and enjoyable and empowering. So think about your mental health, your emotional health, and take some pauses like that, like we're doing right now, instead of focusing only on the actions. Guys, I hope this was helpful in helping you reset and organize your life in 2026. I wish you a happy new year. I thank you for being on this channel. If you liked it, subscribe to the channel, share this video with people you love and care about. You can even do this together with them and see what comes up. Feel free to comment, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.